What is going on, everyone? Welcome to another very exciting episode right here on the MIgardener channel. In today's episode, we're going to kind of take a step back and slow our pace down from our normal pace of episodes, and we're going to talk about something that I think is very, very important. Now, if you had asked me when I first started our garden this year how I thought it was going to end up, it would definitely not be how it is currently ending up. In fact, I never could have expected a season like this. And a lot of gardeners have wrote in, and what caused me to kind of take a pause and to really assess what I wanted to film today, it had everything to do with the wave of emails that came in. And I suspect it's because a lot of gardeners are kind of cleaning out their gardens and their seasons are winding down. And so we start to get those emails. We start to get the emails where people are sad, they're frustrated, they're disappointed, and they're discouraged. And they don't know if they should grow a garden next year. A lot of gardeners they come to me because they see our garden as kind of a pinnacle of gardening success and something that is very aspirational. But what I've always really prided myself in is transparency and letting you know when things aren't going well, letting you know when things aren't going according to plan. And this growing season in general didn't really go according to plan. There's a lot of things that have gone wrong and a lot of things that were out of my control. And for me to sit here and say, woe is me, I don't know if I'm going to put a garden in. Instead, what I'd really like to do is to instead teach you all how to make the best out of something. Because I think a lot of gardeners think that because their garden didn't turn out according to plan, or they might have spent more money than they actually saved from their garden, or spent more energy than they actually, received from their garden, that can be very frustrating. And it can actually lead gardeners to feel like they don't want to have a garden. And that's a very normal, very real emotion, but it's all about really taking a step back and saying, okay, well, is it as bad as I'm making it out to be? And in a lot of cases, it's not, because we're so close to the problem. We're so close that you can't see the big picture. This is something that I learned, actually, I was taking a college course, and it was about human psychology. And my professor took a painting, and he blindfolded everybody, and you walked up to the painting, or you walked up to the picture. It was a picture of a painting, and he had you basically touch your nose to the picture, and then he took the blindfold off, and he said, "What is this a picture of?" And you might be able to come up with some guesses, but if you were being honest, you were so close that all you could see was the texture of the canvas, a few colors, a few blotches. And one person said it's a picture of a river scene. And he said, no, it's a woman wearing a dress. The dress was blue. There was a little bit of blue that they could see. That's all they could see, was just a little line of blue and then a border of some green. And they thought it was a river scene. And it was a woman, a full portrait of a woman in a blue dress. It was astounding to me, because when we're so close to the problem, we can't really see the whole picture. And that really spoke to me as to what I wanted to talk about in today's episode, because there can be so many problems going on that we don't really take a step back to assess. And by simply stepping back, we can really then assess the true beauty of the garden. Going back to my problems here, it's been far from an easy year. We've had a drought that lasted 7 weeks. 7 weeks was a record drought for here in Michigan. Started in June, didn't end till about mid-August. We had a lot of squash bugs that came out. We had a lot of cucumber beetles that came out. We had a lot of bunnies that came out and foraged on our crops. When normally there would have been clover and other things for them to feed on. They fed on our beans and things like that. Then, after the dry season and after all that heat, came the humidity. And the humidity brought in a bunch of rain. And with that rain came late blight on our tomatoes. Now our tomatoes are still kind of kicking it a little bit, but they've never really been terrific. And then there was lifestyle things that come in. Every year is going to be different. You might have a wedding, you might have a baby, you might have health problems, you might have just issues that are out of your control. And this year we just had a good issue, and that's that we had to move our headquarters. We outgrew our old building and we needed to move to a new building. And so that move took a lot of energy, a lot of time, and time and energy that we couldn't really spend here because we can't be in two places at once. And obviously that reduced how much time we could spend taking care of our plants. And so when it really came down to it, our plants got some neglect from just not being put as first priority. And I've always said, I'm not gonna have a professional gardener come and take care of my garden so I can say, look at my garden, because there's no point in doing that. Because if I have 3 garden hands helping me in the garden, how does that teach you what's possible for you to do? But through it all, I have maintained videos all summer long, teaching you all what to do in different circumstances, how to kind of grow and thrive in the current environment that you're given. And I've stayed positive and optimistic. And that causes a lot of people to ask, Luke, how have you stayed so optimistic when your season was so crap? And really what it comes down to is focusing on the positives, because the negatives will be there. And if you only focus on the negatives, you're not able to take a step back and look at the bigger picture. And that's why I use that analogy, is because here I am with a huge handful of green beans that I did, if I wouldn't have planted these beans, I wouldn't have got, right? So I got probably 2 meals worth of green beans here, and I'm gonna be getting a bunch more. That's a positive. I've got all my beets. My beets are like a week away from harvest. They're looking absolutely stunning. I've gotten a ton of tomatoes, despite the fact that my tomatoes kind of suffered a little bit. I've gotten about 300 pounds of tomatoes from our garden. We got about 15 pounds of onions from our onion bed. That's fantastic. Nothing wrong with that. We got, our garlic. We harvested roughly about 10 pounds of garlic this year, which is awesome. We got pears. We had so many pears this year that our pears, we were giving them away to people. We said, just take pears, please. People were making pear jelly, pear pie. People were eating them fresh. They were canning them. It was unbelievable. We were giving so many pears away and eating so many ourselves that it was unbelievable. And so pears this year were insane. We got tons of cherries. Our cherry trees were abundance this year. We ended up getting, I think, about 5 pounds of cherries from our 2 trees, and they're just small trees. So that was a huge harvest. We also had lettuce and radishes in the spring. We had a cucumber harvest. How could I forget about a cucumber harvest? We had cucumbers that were just unbelievable this year. Some of the prettiest, best cucumbers we've ever grown. And so we've had that. Our kale was amazing. Our Brussels sprouts have yet to harvest. Our peppers were abundant. We had one of our best pepper harvests we've ever had. And so despite the fact that things have gone bad, look at all the good that has come from it. Look at all the good. And on top of that, what I can say is the most important thing of it all that I want to remind you guys is that even if you harvest absolutely nothing from your garden, did you learn something? That can be a positive, because you can take what you learned into next year. Did you get fresh air? Well, there's a lot of people that would love that fresh air. Ask anyone that lives in a super air polluted city, how much would they love the fresh air that you got out in the garden? What about the sunshine? The beautiful summer glow that you got. People sitting in an office that just never get that sunshine, or if they sit in the house all day, they lack that vitamin D. They lack that sunshine. What about the exercise? What about the cardiovascular health that you got from getting in the garden, weeding the garden, tending the garden, taking care of the garden? That health is something that there's a lot of people that are, you might even be in this situation. You might be sitting in a hospital bed. We get people that write in saying, Luke, I watched your channel because I'm not able to move right now. And I just want to remember what it feels like to be outside. And that almost makes me want to cry, imagining that someone is not able to have the incredible fortune that I have to be out in this garden getting fresh air and exercise. And so all of that is to say that learn stuff from your mistakes, try something new next year. If you learn from your mistakes, try something new. Remember that not every year is going to have the same weather patterns. Not every year is going to have the same pests. You might have just had a bad year. And also remember that this is an opportunity for you to, if your garden didn't go as well as planned, to go back to the drawing board. You have all of winter to brainstorm, to think out what you want to do, to plan, and come up with a better plan next year if that's what you want to do. Or do nothing different and just see if it was just a bad year. You are the creator of your painting, right? This is your painting. And sometimes we can be so close to the problem that we can't see the painting as a whole. And so if you expected me to sit here and have a woe is me moment, cry over spilt milk with you, cry in a corner, it's not going to happen. I wouldn't expect it, and I wouldn't give it to you either, because that's not how we progress as gardeners. And so with that being said, our motto here that gets a lot of confusion is grow big or go home. And that means challenge yourself, grow a bigger garden, grow more knowledge, grow big as a gardener, grow big as an individual, learn life skills that you can take and teach people and to benefit the world around you. Grow big or go home is really important. And that's what I want you guys to do. If your garden did not turn out the way that you expected, grow big or go home. If your garden did do really well, grow big or go home next year, grow even bigger. And so challenge yourself to be better than you were the year prior. And so that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed. Hopefully y'all learned something new. Stay positive out there. And as always, we'll talk to you later.